Hello, I'm Danny.
And I'm Jake.
And this is Marvel Talk. Hey everybody, welcome back to a brand new episode of Marvel Talk, jam-packed this week.
Yeah, even up to today. It's been a heck of a day, so if anything breaks while we're talking here, bring it up.
Yeah, because who knows, maybe it will. So yeah, start off with some good old Marvel here. I know this is the big part of the news section, but I figured we gotta talk about it now, man, because it was just announced today. We got some updates for Spider-Man. Well, first, before that, we did get the gameplay kind of story trailer for Miles Morales.
And yeah, that was pretty good stuff, man. I'm digging the way the game looks, and I love how Miles' powers are like super out of control. Like in that trailer, like his electricity powers are just like he's just blowing crap up like left and right.
Yeah, it's really crazy, man. When I saw it, I was like, I knew it was gonna look nicer than the PS4 game, but man, this looks a lot nicer than I thought.
I'm wondering how much of that is like early build, like extra gloss on the animation stuff, and how much of that'll be real once we see it on a PS5.
Yeah, I noticed people were saying, I hope this isn't the Puddlegate thing again.
My assumption is that, like most modern games, they have it running on a PC to emulate it and get it to the highest graphical quality possible, like they do with most games nowadays, for the trailer, and then for the actual game, it's going to look a little different. Yeah, Miles gameplay looking pretty good, man.
Oh,
who do you think those villains are?
Somebody pointed out that they're henchmen for the Tinkerer.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
I do like the designs. I think the neon lights is just there to showcase the power of the PS5, probably. I'll tell you what, though, I was surprised to see Ned show up in here, right? Miles' friend.
Yeah, that was cool. I like Ned being around.
So that makes me think he might be having some game sequences as well, similar to MJ and Miles in the first game.
But yeah, I don't know. There's not a whole lot, I think, to say about this Miles Morales stuff quite yet. It just looks good. But something that doesn't look good, something that I think looks absolutely terrible, is this new face that they gave to Peter Parker, both for the newly announced remastered version of Spider-Man for the PS5, and for Peter Parker's face in the Miles Morales game. That is a shame. I am so bummed. This new dude looks so terrible.
Yeah, so today the recording on the PlayStation blog, they posted like a bunch of new information for the remastered. And yeah, so we get a new look at Peter Parker specifically, because they changed the actors for the motion capture. Yes, like Jake said, it's very disappointing to see. It is jarring to look at comparing to the original look, which I really like a lot.
I felt like that dude's face fit that voice like so well, and he looks like a nice, mature Peter Parker, right? Like he looks like a Peter Parker that's been around for a minute. But this new guy, he looks like he should be an origin story Peter Parker. Like he looks like a teenager.
Yeah, and that's one of my biggest problems with it. Is why are we going for the younger look when we have Miles, who's the younger character already for these stories?
Exactly.
And it's been established that Peter Parker's an adult in the game. The only thing I can think of is that, so there's two things I could think of. Maybe there was something internally with the actor that did the motion capture. Maybe he had some conflict with the studio.
From what I've seen on Instagram, he's been posting about how he said he's not back for the future stuff. So I don't think it's something where he chose to dissolve his contract. I think Marvel is actively choosing to cast a different person in this role, and he's so perfect in the first game, like the regular version of it now, even to the scene with Aunt May near the end, and like everything with that is so good and so well acted with the guy's face that like I'm not going to be able to take it the same way with this new guy.
Yeah, and so that comes to my other assumption of why this is happening, and is that Marvel probably wants this Spider-Man to look more like Tom Holland.
What if this face, hear me out, right? What if this face actor is the new face actor for Spider-Man in this game and also in the Avengers game. Because we haven't seen what Spider-Man's going to look like in the Avengers game yet. And there could be some weird rights hang up with Sony that, well, we use this version of Peter Parker. And Marvel told Insomniac, well, let's change the face a little bit so we can put it in both games. But who knows? Like, that's just a theory.
Because I know, like, in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, that's on the Switch, it's the same voice actor as the Insomniac Spider-Man game.
Does he ever take his mask off for that, though?
No. I don't know, it's Crystal Dynamics making the Avengers game, and, I mean, sure, it isn't exclusive to Sony, right, for PlayStation, but I don't know if that means, like, they'll have some help with the creative control on that.
Yeah, I have no idea. So it's just a theory that they want to try and bring it all around to be on the same page.
I don't know. I think the fact that let's try to make him look like try to make him look like Tom Holland, and just to get like the younger feel for it, to get a wider audience, I guess it doesn't make any sense. I don't know.
Did you see one of the suits they showed for Miles? One of his alt suits?
Yeah. So if you pre-order the game. There's two versions. There's the standard and the deluxe. I don't know how much the standard is, but the deluxe is $80. But that includes the Spider-Man remake as well. With the pre-order, you'll get 3 costumes, and we saw the first one, and I think it's fine. You can tell it's an original suit. Yeah.
TRACK suit. I don't know why it's an anagram, but okay.
You know Marvel loves anagrams.
Oh yeah, they
Agents of Smash, Sword, Shield, Time. You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they love it over there.
AIM. Can't forget about AIM.
Yeah, of course, can't forget about AIM. Yeah, MODOK.
Yep. Oh god, yeah.
Yeah. One other stuff that they pointed out for Spider-Man on PS5 was, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to transfer your save data from PS4 to PS5.
What?
So if you do want to grab the remaster for Spider-Man 2018, you're going to have to start over on the next gen.
Oh my god.
Yeah, which I don't understand why.
It's because of that new face file, man. That face change messes up the entire save data.
So that was a little unfortunate to hear, but I was planning, once I found out that Miles was going on PS4, I'm like, I'll just get it there, because I don't know when I'm going to get a PS5, so...
Yeah, that's kind of how I'm feeling about it, because I also feel like it'll still be, if the game price is going up on PS5 is actually like substantiated, I'd rather get it on PS4 and get it for cheaper than paying a more expensive price for basically a DLC game in some ways.
Yeah, well, I'm sure Miles is going to be a $40 game on PS4, and I would guess $50 on PS5.
PS5, yeah.
Okay, so I just looked it up on Amazon for pre-orders, since they are both PS4 and PS5 edition are $50. So, okay, so on the cover for PS4, it's the launch edition, and it says for the PS4 that PS5 upgrade is available. Okay, so that means whenever you get a PS5 and then you have your PS4 version of Miles Morales, you'll be able to play it there.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool, I guess. But you can't transfer your save data. So
you're just gonna have to start over again. Yeah.
So what's the point of doing that? Oh boy, that seems very silly.
Yeah. That's the weird thing, and I'm assuming that's probably on Sony's end, like complication wise.
Yeah.
Just to talk PlayStation real quick. I don't know if you know, Jake, but now we have the feature to change your username on your PSN account. And
do we?
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah, and people have been asking for that for a long time, and the problem that kept coming up is they really couldn't do it. It was going to be very difficult. And that's just how like their system worked when it came to accounts when they created the PS3, and that carried over to PS4 because you still have the same account across all the devices.
Yeah.
So it was like buggy as far as like, oh, you might lose some of your licenses for digital games. You might lose your trophy list data and all of that if you change your name. And so that's why it took them so long to do this. And,
okay.
And a lot of people were still confused when they kept talking about backwards compatibility for PS4 on PS5. And, they kept being very vague about it as far as giving information. And I think they're just testing out how games are going to play on next gen. And I'm assuming this is going to be one of the bugs, is carrying over the save data. But it doesn't make
sense. Yeah.
To me, it doesn't make sense because I know they're still using some PS4 stuff within the PS5. To me, I think it would make more sense if it's just like, oh yeah, the save data can transfer. But I don't know. Who knows? We'll just have to wait till it comes out.
There must be some kind of weird framework issue with how the games are programmed or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's probably what it is. Because I know they're still testing games out, and they said something not too long ago about how big the library is for backwards compatibility and all that. So.
Yeah.
So I wonder what this means for the PS4 version of Miles Morales, if Peter Parker's in there.
They said in all versions of Miles, it'll be the new face.
Okay.
It's going to be this guy's face. Also on the PS4.
Yeah. So we still have 2 more costumes for Peter to reveal, as well as 2 more costumes for Miles to reveal. So.
Well, one of those is going to be ASM too, right? Like.
I don't know. Do you think so?
Oh yeah, I think so. I think if they're going to do the first one, they're going to do the second one. Or maybe we'll even get I wonder if we get the black Raimi suit instead.
That would be cool. Yeah, I see a lot of people edit it. So, yeah, moving on to other news. We got a lot of stuff for the MCU and Marvel TV. Well, I guess Disney Plus shows.
Yeah.
You could say. And earlier we got the casting for She-Hulk for the... it's a Hulu show, right? I think? Or is it Disney Plus?
I think She-Hulk's Disney Plus.
Disney Plus, okay.
I think. Let me double check. Yeah, Disney Plus. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so we got She-Hulk, and it is Tatiana Maslany.
Yeah, sure.
I think
that was pretty close. I don't remember what she's been in.
So she's been in a bunch of television shows. It looks like a lot of drama
she
series.
was the main person on Orphan Black. That's right. That's right. That was her big role. Is that she was the main star of that show. And Orphan Black was all about clones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so she ends up playing 4 or 5 different versions of herself on that show because she gets cloned multiple times. So she does a really good job playing herself in multiple scenes and all that kind of stuff. But other than that, I haven't seen her in any of this other stuff. I don't know what any of this is. So I think she'll be good. I don't know. She's very short. So I'm assuming they're going to be doing she's 5'4", so they're probably going to be doing CGI. I would assume to make her into She-Hulk.
I hope they do perspective stuff with the camera on that end.
I mean, if they even need to. I mean, if they just do full Hulk CGI, which I feel like they will be able to do. Because of a trailer that we're going to talk about here in a little bit, having some pretty impressive CGI in that trailer for one of its main characters. True. Yeah, so I think if they're willing to put the budget for the CGI into that show, I would definitely see them be willing to put it into this one.
You're probably right, because this is on Disney Plus, not on Hulu, so I think that makes a big difference.
I guess my biggest worry, though, is she going to swap back and forth, or is she going to stay She-Hulk the whole time? Because I can't imagine, with some of the rumors going around right now, even about Mandalorian, that the main actress of this new show would want to be hidden behind CGI the entire time. You know what I mean? So I don't know if they're going to have her be able to shift back and forth from full She-Hulk to regular person. So that way she can not be in a giant CGI suit some of the days. I don't know.
Yes, the J-Law dilemma, right?
Yes. Yeah, the Jennifer Lawrence effect.
It's hard to put the blue paint on. I want to be me.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to wear a helmet the whole season,
that too, I guess.
It's really hard to wear a helmet all season long and not have my face shown to the audience.
Yeah, I figured probably 60-40, 70-30 ratio for when She-Hulk would show up, because it being a show, it's like, yeah, we're not probably going to see a lot of her changing into She-Hulk.
Isn't she She-Hulk pretty much the entire time in the comics? Like, she doesn't shift back and forth in the comics, right? Like, she's just She-Hulk?
I don't know too much about She-Hulk, unfortunately.
Okay, so I just looked up the power here, and it says she's able to change back and forth at will. So she has more control over it than Bruce Banner does. So she can change back and forth. So they'll probably keep her as normal Tatiana for most of the season, and she'll be She-Hulk for big action scenes.
Do we know if this is an origin story for She-Hulk?
I would assume it's probably going to be an origin story. I don't think they've released any other details about it, though.
Because if it is, then you know who's showing up then.
Mark Ruffalo. Yeah. I mean, Edward Norton.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, I can't wait to talk about those rumors. Yeah, we gotta talk about that at least a little bit.
I almost forgot about that.
We'll talk about that towards
the tail end here. Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll talk about it with the trailer. I think it'll fit in pretty well there. But yeah, I think she'll do an okay job. I don't know. She's a good actress. She's done good stuff.
Okay. Yeah, my problem with a series like this is I don't know any actors aside from like who's on the CW for the DC shows.
Yeah. That makes sense. But yeah, no, she was good. She's good. I not a bad choice. Definitely not. What was her name? The girl from Community who thought she was going to get it.
Right. I don't remember.
Oh my gosh, her name is totally escaping me now, but Alison Brie, that's her name.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, Alison Brie. It's it's not Alison Brie, but that's okay. This is still a good casting choice for She-Hulk. I just hope that she's She-Hulk more than she's normal human person. I guess is more what I'm hoping for. Because that's what she's known for, is that she's able to stay She-Hulk for like long periods of time. And she's like a lawyer while she's She-Hulk in a lot of parts and stuff.
And today, as of this recording, before we hopped on, there was another casting announcement for another Disney Plus show. And that is for Miss Marvel. They finally found their actress, and it is one Iman Vellani.
Yeah, I don't recognize her name at all. So I feel like she's probably a brand new person.
Yeah, this is her first big production that she's been in.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, if they make her less obnoxious than the version of her in the video game, then great. But if she's just as obnoxious as the video game edition of Kamala Khan, I don't care, and I won't care. And I don't need to watch it, so...
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we just got that, and yeah, I have nothing else to add. New actress, so I just hope she does a good job with the role. I guess there could be pressure with playing one of these key characters when it comes to the diversity side of Marvel.
Yeah, I guess I still don't know how key Miss Marvel is as a character.
A lot of people like her. Moving on, we do have a bunch of other Disney Plus shows here. Just announced, Nick Fury's getting his own show.
A Nick Fury show this late in the game feels a little too late, sort of.
Yeah, I think a lot of stuff Marvel's doing now is too late in the game.
Yeah, I would agree. This feels like, along with the Black Widow movie, like it would have fit really well, like, back around Civil War, like somewhere in Phase 3. This would have been a great idea. Mm-hmm. And I almost wonder if this is what they wanted to do with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but never got a chance to do. Unless this is just about Nick Fury traveling on a spaceship to like different planets while he's on vacation. And if that's the case, I will watch the heck out of this show. If that's all it is Nick Fury in space, like, I could be kind of behind that.
Yeah, I forgot that's where we left off with him. Yeah.
Yeah, that he was vacationing on a Skrull spaceship. I could honestly be kind of okay with that if that's like all the show is just following Nick Fury on space adventures. I'd be into that. That'd be cool. That I turned myself around on it. Never mind. Like, make it Nick Fury in space. Have a couple of the Guardians show up. Have Drax show up. That would be cool. There's all kinds of stuff you could do, I think, if they were to go that route. But for some reason, I feel like this show is going to be all based on Earth. And it's probably just going to be about him being a spy.
Probably. I can imagine Maria Hill would be in there.
Oh, yeah. She's TV money, Kobe Smulders.
Yeah.
Yep.
What would be cool is, depending on when it's set in, to see Coulson come back up.
Yeah,
again.
having Coulson pop back up would be cool. Did you watch the end of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
No, I fell off, I think the season after. The season where they killed Grant Ward is where I stopped watching.
Oh, okay, yeah. See, I don't know what happened at the end of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So.
Well, okay, I know what happens is they...
Spoilers for the ends of Agents
Spoilers
of S.H.I.E.L.D.
for the super hardcore dedicated fans that were waiting for the seasons to hop on Netflix.
Oh man!
From what I remember at the season finale of one of these seasons, they're all hanging out at like some kind of random restaurant, and all these people show up, and they want to recruit Coulson and his team, so that way they could go to the future and do something. But the weird thing about this is most of them time traveled, but I think it was either time travel or they were just in cryo sleep on a spaceship, and then they woke up in the future.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was something weird. I do know they mentioned Thanos at one point, like one of the aliens they talked to mentioned him. And that's all I remember from the show.
We're still softly connected to the MCU.
Yeah, because the question was like, well, what's going to happen during Endgame? And it's like, oh, well, they traveled to the future. They weren't even there.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay.
I don't know. The Nick Fury show, if it's about space travel and Nick Fury messing around with the Skrulls and doing crazy stuff in space, yeah. I think it'll be really entertaining to watch. And I think it'll be really interesting. But if it's
I'm sure Sam Jackson would have fun with that too. He'd be on board.
Oh yeah, he'd have a blast. Like that would be great. Like if he was just told like, oh, you're gonna be on a green screen like every episode, and we're gonna do crazy space stuff. Watch him use a bunch of the spaceships from Mandalorian to like shoot this show, and like use the crazy circle 3D projection room. But if it's just spy stuff with Nick Fury again, I'm gonna be so checked out. I don't even care.
Yeah, who cares?
It's like you already tried it in Captain Marvel and you failed. Like, don't worry. Just leave it behind. Go forward with Nick Fury. Go forward with his character. Unless they rewrite the origin of his eye getting scratched, which would be great. In whatever show this is, that would be fun.
Yeah, just don't. I don't even remember that, Jake. When did that happen? I don't know.
Yeah, what are you talking about? I remember him talking about it in Winter Soldier, but I don't remember it actually ever being shown on screen.
Yeah, I think they said they might have filmed something, but it never came out, I think, as well.
Yeah. Like, they said it's some deleted scene from another movie, but they didn't want to put it in because it was embarrassing.
Right, yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Ooh, buddy, yeah.
Oh, boy.
Moving on, we got an update. Loki is going to be back in production soon. Yeah, I almost forgot that show was coming out.
Yeah, it's there's been some set photos of
Lady Loki, right?
Maybe Lady Loki. Some people are saying she could be like the Enchantress or whatever, and I'm like,
that's true. Yeah.
At this point, I don't care. They're going for weird comic booky things that I'm like not super into anymore. So I don't know if I care about the Loki show that much. But we'll see. I don't know.
We'll see.
It's part of Disney's whole activism deal, I guess, in some ways.
Yeah. But we got a bunch of set videos and photos for Falcon Winter Soldier recently.
Oh yeah, those were. I'm pretty sure those were intentional leaks too. I feel like those were too well planned in terms of how they look. Especially like. I love the shot of Falcon smoking a stogie,
Perfect.
That was pretty wonderful. I was like, that's pretty good. That's pretty endearing. I gotta say, I do like that. And then I loved seeing Sebastian Stan in the full Winter Soldier getup and actually seeing him with the arm and stuff is great. Mm-hmm. I'm like, God, I hope the arm is shown a lot more than it was in those initial teaser pictures and stuff.
Oh, yeah, wearing a glove over it too, right?
Oh, God. It's like, yeah, don't pay for it. We don't want to make him wear it. It's expensive.
I will say the new Winter Soldier suit is growing on me.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, but that's all the news for it, which I find it so weird because it's like it's still coming out this year. That's what they said.
No. It got pushed back to next year with the delays.
Oh, did it get pushed back? Oh, okay.
Yeah. The only one that's coming out this year is WandaVision is coming out this year, but Falcon and the Winter Soldier got pushed back to early 2021.
Oh, okay.
Along with all the other stuff that got pushed back.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a bit.
Yeah, we'll get there.
But speaking of WandaVision, yeah, we got a trailer for it.
Yeah, and it was great. I loved it. I'm super stoked to see WandaVision. I'm legitimately excited. And I kind of figured that would be the case because that was the one with the wackiest, weirdest concept when they first revealed all this stuff, and that was the one I was kind of most interested in back then too. Was this one, and it's looking to be just as weird and kooky as I was expecting it to be. Yes. Very Doom Patrol season 1.
I gotcha. Right.
Yeah, very Umbrella Academy in a lot of ways. Definitely looks like they're going for the Scarlet Witch is causing crazy nightmare stuff to happen.
But are we though? Because in the trailer we saw somebody like it looks like they're in like some kind of weird rift in space in the trailer, right? Because we see like a bunch of I guess what is it, Agents of Sword, right? That they're popping up in the show.
Oh, somebody highlighted in that trailer that one of the characters was somebody from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh,
and somebody else highlighted one of the characters in the background of a shot and was like, "That looks just like." Kat Dennings from Thor. And I was like, oh, it does look just like her. That's crazy. Even though it's pretty blurry, it's in like the crowd shot, like when they're looking at the rift or whatever. So it's very possible they're bringing in some older characters from other things to try and reconnect this show to stuff. So that's cool.
If she's there, then I would like to see, I forget his name, the scientist from Thor.
Oh, Selvig? Oh, God, we need Selvig in this show, man. That would be awesome.
That would be great.
I would love Selvig to come back.
And that shot of the rift we see, it's like in an open area, and then we see somebody get shot out of it. I'm assuming that's the person that's causing all this to happen to Scarlet Witch?
Yeah, it could be. Kat Dennings is confirmed to be cast in the WandaVision show.
Oh.
Yeah. So, yeah, she's in it.
That's okay.
And Randall Park is in it. Because he's the FBI agent in Ant-Man 2.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
So the character I was talking about that flew out of this projection, I see she's casted right here as Teyonah Parris. Teyonah Parris is probably how it's pronounced. But right here it says she is playing the character Monica Rambeau, and that is Captain Marvel. That's the other Captain Marvel, and if I'm not mistaken,
isn't this supposed to be
the daughter?
Isn't
right?
Monica Rambeau supposed to be the daughter? Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot that they mentioned that at one point that she's going to be in one of these things.
Yeah. We'll see if she's actually like superpowered here, I guess, or not. I'm gonna assume she probably won't be. Yeah, I'm gonna assume that this will probably be pre-superpowers for her character. But she'll probably still be a sword agent.
We'll see. Yeah. As we saw, people were upset about this trailer for the Vision, and Scarlet Witch costumes that we saw.
I mean, I think I was the only one upset.
Oh. I saw people were upset, but like I called it, it's totally during Halloween.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you mean like back when they first showed the costumes. Got it.
Well, no, I saw people posting screenshots of the Vision one, too, and how they were not too happy with it.
Yeah, it just rubs me funky, at least for me. Because it's the same joke that they had with the Captain America suit in the first Captain America movie. Where it's just of course. Like, look at how goofy the original suit looks. Screw that. Our suits are way better. And I'm like, have at least a little bit of respect for the original stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's like in Luke Cage, when during this flashback arc in season 1, he breaks out and he has the OG look, right, with the opened yellow shirt, the headband, and the gauntlets, and he's like, "This looks ridiculous," and takes it off immediately.
Yeah. See, if it's something like short and sweet like that, like, I guess it's, I don't know, something about that's a little more okay to me than just making it like really in your face, especially with like the Captain America one and like these ones. I feel like these ones are a little bit more in your face about it, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's like in Jessica Jones as well. Like they pulled out the actual OG comic suit, and then she says, "No, I'd look like a stripper wearing that."
Oh yeah, like the pink, the blue and white outfit.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty good looking trailer, man. I can't lie. The CGI on Vision is pretty good.
Pretty good. Yeah, some of those effects.
Like the shot where he's like flying in the, like where he flies down from, like, he flies up into the sky and then he flies back down in front of the car. Like, God, beautiful. Like, he looks so good. Like movie quality, like, to that point. And I don't know if that speaks to the suit or just the how good they've gotten with like the CGI on Vision, like doing it in so many different movies or what. But if they can retain this level of CGI quality for like for She-Hulk, I think it's going to look awesome.
I mean, we know that this is the MCU cast for this show. Yeah. Right. So there's always that there, but yeah. No, I hope all the other Disney shows look like this.
Yeah, like if it, because I also really love this whole like this visual difference between a bunch of different time periods and stuff. Like, it's pretty neat. I wonder if Rambeau does have the powers, because it looks like she gets flung pretty hard through this portal. So I have one of two theories about this. I think that it's either Wanda doing the big like what's the big like X-Men event?
Oh, the House of M.
Yeah. So it's either a House of M style deal, right? Where like the House of M is just like she's going nuts because she's grieving over the loss of Vision, and that's why he's alive here and all that kind of stuff. And that's why like they don't remember like their pasts and everything, because it's like this perfect world that she's created. Or it's going to be who they had rumored as the villain for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Nightmare, who has taken over Wanda and is using her to feed on her powers or something, and putting her in this imaginary world.
Yeah, because we do get the shot towards the end of the trailer where Wanda is kind of messing around with her powers and she's changing the furniture.
Yeah.
In the room. So I feel like that could be a part where she notices that she has powers. Like maybe because she forgot. Because in the beginning of the trailer, right, her and Vision don't kind of remember where they came from.
When it's all black and white.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then there's the scene where it transitions, right? Where Vision is part black and white. It pulls a Pleasantville.
It goes back into color.
You know, right. another Marvel cinematic masterpiece, Pleasantville, in which Peter Parker travels inside a television set. But yeah, it all goes to color, and then it's the 70s type of look. So, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I think this show looks pretty neat. I'm hoping the episodes are longer than 30 minutes for each episode, especially because there's only 6 of them.
I'm sure they're going to be an hour, right? Because, I mean, so far every comic book-esque show that I've seen has been an hour.
I hope so. But Mandalorian's episodes are only 27 minutes each.
Oh, that's
so
right.
I'm more judging it based on Mandalorian's time counts on stuff.
I think the difference here, though, is like Mandalorian. We kind of knew that wasn't going to be a limited series, right? With season 2 coming out, and then here with WandaVision, I doubt like they're going to do a season 2. So for it to be such short episode number, I'm sure they'll be an hour long.
It's just making me really wonder how many of these Disney Plus Marvel shows weren't just planned as movies first and then became shows later. Because if these episodes end up being like an hour long each, then I totally will like buy that this was a show planned to have like 6 hours worth of content in it to explore to really explore these characters. But I don't think that's what they're going to do. I think they're going to be half-hour episodes, and they're going to be super short storylines in each episode that tease you to get into the next one, basically making it super bingeable. And if that's the case, then that's only 3 hours of your time. So it's basically a 3-hour WandaVision movie.
Yeah, but I feel like they had the idea for sure to do stuff like this: Falcon Winter Soldier, Loki, WandaVision, right? But I feel like there are just certain things that would fit better in a limited run format. Like a Hawkeye, for example. I think Hawkeye should get something as a solo project, but I just don't think it would fit as a movie. And having it as a series, I think works better for his character. And I think that's here for WandaVision as well. Like, it would have been cool to see it on the big screen as a film, but how many eyes would that really attract to go into a theater? You know, like
I get it from a business perspective why they would want to do it this way, but to me it also just says like, well, we're not super confident with some of these other movie ideas.
That too.
So we'll just put less money towards them, and we'll put them on the streaming service app instead.
Like, I'm sure Falcon Winter Soldier could have been a movie, and it probably would have played well. But I think they want to tap into the TV side of things now that they have control over it.
Okay.
Or at least now that Feige has control over the TV side of things. So
yeah.
And plus, it would probably be a different title than Falcon Winter Soldier for the theaters, right?
Possibly. Yeah. Well, maybe. I don't know. Falcon and the Winter Soldier might be the name of it, or Captain America 4,
or just something. Yeah. 'Cause I don't know. I think calling it just Falcon Winter Soldier, it doesn't feel like a movie title.
Yeah. Doesn't quite have that same kick.
Yeah.
But either way, I think that WandaVision itself looks really good, and whether I end up watching it as in an episode format or if I just wait for it to all come out and binge it all and watch it as a movie, I think I'll probably still get a pretty good kick out of it. I think.
Yeah. And that is coming out later this year.
Yeah, there's no confirmed release date, I don't think, on it yet.
I'm going to guess the end of November, right? Because that's around the time Mando... Or not even. I would bet December, because when Mandalorian ends, this will probably kick off.
Yeah, because Mandalorian, they'll definitely be doing episode to episode. And then I bet you once WandaVision is over, which will probably be sometime next year, is when they'll be ready to put up Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Yep. Look at that. They're going to do the DC release schedule thing, man, just like I said.
Don't forget, we still have yet to see Evan Peters show up in this trailer, so...
Yeah, I'm hoping he doesn't get spoiled out of this. But if he does end up being in the show, it would lend some credence to what his movie might look like later. Which, man, those rumors are really cool, man. If that ends up happening, I would love that. That would be great. Because you heard the rumor stuff about it, right?
I don't think so.
Okay, so the big rumor going around right now about Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness is that they might be visiting alternate dimensions with different versions of different MCU heroes.
Oh, this rumor. Okay, I thought we were still talking about Evan Peters. Okay.
Yeah, well, Evan Peters might be a part of that. Like, that's part of the rumor setup, because if he's like an alternate version of the character, that's where he would end up at, right? But they're talking about how we might get to see, like, Tom Cruise as Iron Man. And I'm like, stop right now, because if you do that, you've got a new headliner for the MCU, and you don't need to worry about Robert Downey Jr. anymore. Like, just pull in Tom Cruise. Boom, you got it. And then, who's the other rumor I heard about? Well, it wasn't a rumor that I heard about for it. I just thought it would be kind of funny if they put Terrence Howard back in as a War Machine.
Bring him back, bring Edward Norton back.
Oh, yeah. God, yeah, dude. Bring back all of the recastings that they did. Like, that would be amazing. I would laugh so hard.
Maybe that's where this Captain Marvel comes in.
Oh, that could be. Maybe she's like an alternate universe Captain Marvel?
Yeah.
That would be kind of interesting. Like, what if all of the stuff we've been seeing with, like, the secret agent people and stuff isn't the main MCU? What if that's, like, the alternate dimension?
That's why it's called Sword.
Yeah. Like, Sword would be
Sword
would be the team on that end. Like, they wouldn't be, like, the British version of S.H.I.E.L.D. They would be, like, the alternate dimension S.H.I.E.L.D. That could be kind of cool, actually.
Yes, and the final show we have here, we got a trailer as well. It's on Hulu, and that is for Hellstrom.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked. Hellstrom looks really rad. I like it. It's kind of what I wish a new Constantine show would look like. But this is a Marvel show, so we can't have Constantine in it. It looks really spooky.
I don't know too much about Hellstrom, but...
Yeah, I don't know a lot about it either, so I just think the trailer looks really cool. And hopefully it's able to be as spooky as it is hyped up to be. That's all I hope for. It looks good.
Yeah, so we got the full trailer, and all episodes are going to be released at once, and that's going to be October 16th.
Nice.
So that's real soon.
Nice. That's awesome.
And then I guess we'll bring it up because it is Marvel. There was a trailer for the 616 documentary talking about the comics on Disney Plus.
Yeah, it looks okay.
Yeah, it's just them talking about what it was like to write Marvel, I guess, throughout the years. Because I know they talk about the old stuff and they talk about the more modern comics as well.
Yeah, well, each episode, I guess, is supposed to focus around a different creator in the industry.
Right.
So it could be like a comic book writer or a movie maker or what have you. So we'll see. I saw some cosplayers in that trailer. So obviously there's going to be an episode that probably talks about cosplay stuff. But it's all cosplayers that have like 1 million followers, and you know they sell a lot of their things on websites that are probably demonetizable in a lot of spaces. So you know there's that.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what the inspiration was for this. More than likely, is the DC documentary thing that they're doing for their comic book creators.
So you think are you trying to tell me, Danny, that Marvel is trying to bandwagon and feed off of the ideas of another comic book company?
I don't think so, because we didn't get the MCU fandom, so
yeah, they just decide to throw news out whenever they want.
Yeah,
if at all, you know, like it makes it more exciting that way, right? Like now we don't know what's going to happen in the next like 5 or 6 years, except we do.
Yeah, don't make a big event to have people come in and watch actors, directors, and all that talk about what they want to talk about.
Yeah, don't let people don't have your creators show their passion for the things they're working on. No, just release an article talking about who you casted as a character, right? That seems like the right way to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you heard any info about that DC documentary series?
No, I haven't kept up with that at all.
Yeah, I was listening to Kevin Smith talk about it, and it's coming out soon, I think. The coolest part is they're doing like they're doing like film reenactments of, and like they're having actors portray everybody like in the writing rooms and all that. And okay. I know Brandon Routh is involved. He's playing a few people in there too.
Oh, that's awesome. That's cool.
That's cool. Yeah. And I feel like Marvel was like, I guess we got to do this, but we don't have time to film anything like that.
I also wonder how long DC's been working on that special, because it could be that DC was working on that long before like COVID hit. This Marvel one just feels very rushed. Just looks very I don't know. it just doesn't look very genuine. It looks about as genuine as the documentary they released about Frozen 2, which was not super strong. So I don't know. We'll see, I guess. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see. And that's pretty much all we got for the TV side of things for Marvel.
Yep.
And moving on to the MCU, man. Big shakeup for scheduling.
Everything's just been pushed back by like 6 months. That's pretty much the announcement.
Yes.
I don't think anything's changed order of release or anything at all. I think it's all just been pushed back 6 months.
And that includes Black Widow, which means that 2020 is the first year since 2008 to not have a MCU movie in theaters.
Thank God. This is what I've been waiting for. I've been wanting them to wait. And now they're forced to. Excellent.
I'm fine with one movie a year or 2 movies a year. You know,
I honestly I love the idea that I have time to build up hype again to like Marvel movies and like actually have a thing of like, well, what is going to happen? I don't know. I like being able to have that break in between movies. So.
Yeah. Well, I've said it before, and I'll always say it. My problem with the MCU was that it was so crowded during the releases. You know, February, April, July time frame. You know, it's all just too close together.
Yep. Yeah, I would agree. And with that delay being a thing, there is evidence of there being action figures, like production samples of figures for the Eternals.
That's right.
Somebody found one. Somebody found just Ajak, which is Salma Hayek's character from the movie. Mm-hmm. So they found her, and supposedly it's an unauthenticated image. It's not real. Like Marvel's discounting it and shit. But Marvel and Hasbro also didn't show any new figures for the MCU at their big convention this past weekend. They did show some new figures for Into the Spider-Verse though, which looked pretty good. Did you see those?
No, I didn't.
Oh, let me pull those up real quick. But they showed a bunch of figures off for that, and then a bunch of more like classic comic book style figures and stuff, but there was no new MCU Marvel Legends at all. They didn't have anything new to show for like Eternals or anything like that. So who knows where that's going to end up at in the next little while, I guess. I would assume that stuff will probably get released at some point, but we'll see.
So that is all we have for Marvel's end for now.
Yep.
A lot of info, and I was joking earlier, but yeah, the fact that we didn't get an online event for this, I think that's just Disney, because I don't understand why they don't want to do it.
I just don't think Disney's super well organized on this stuff right now. I don't. Yeah. I feel like their stuff is kind of all over the place with like the theme park closures and RIP to a bunch of cast member jobs this week. Well, I won't dwell on that too much at all, but I think Disney's kind of not super organized currently, so I feel like they're kind of just releasing news as soon as they get it, type deal, rather than trying to organize an entire event around a bunch of news items like DC did. And that might just be because DC has the bigger push now from, like the heads at AT&T are pushing to make it a little bit more professional and a little bit more fan-oriented and stuff, whereas Disney's just trying to recoup costs for theme parks being closed. And their movie's not doing well in theaters.
And also, since we're talking about it, to further prove that, they brought up new info for D23, right? Because it was supposed to happen this year, and they're like, "Oh, we'll be back 2022."
Yep.
Yeah, instead of not trying to do something online this year.
Yeah, because they could have done an online D23, and they could have announced all of this stuff. They could have announced any new animated movies they're working on. I just feel like Disney isn't really making a big push to keep people engaged with a lot of this. Yeah, and I don't know. I think that's pretty relevant from how they even announced the delay of all the movies. It was like such a last minute call. Like, how close were we to Black Widow actually just coming out? Like, it was supposed to be this month, right? Like October?
I don't know anymore. I think it was October. Yeah. Actually, I don't even know if we got one, because I want to say they said it was delayed indefinitely.
Yeah, no, there's all the news is saying that it was just pushed back indefinitely. Okay.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I figured.
Boy, that's rough, dude. That's really rough.
And
budget was 150 to 200 million. Woohoo! Oh boy, that's a lot of money to not be making right now on a movie that's already shot and filmed. Oh boy.
I'll just say a lot of people are upset with the delays. I know a few people I follow are, because moving on to DC, right? Another movie got delayed as well. Wonder Woman got pushed to Christmas, and a lot of people are just saying, like, just put it on streaming so we can watch it.
Yeah, but it's not going to make as much money. Like, these movies were made for way too much money for them to put it on a streaming service. Like,
that's true. I would say that's probably true. But we've seen movies make a lot of money on streaming.
Yes, children's movies. We've seen children's movies make a lot of money on streaming services. Yeah. We haven't seen anything PG-13 or above make that much money, though. And, like, already those movies have pretty... I don't want to say limited markets, because they do, like, make tons of money. But, like, when you start getting towards PG-13 and R, the audience starts to become smaller and smaller. And Wonder Woman 84, I think, still has a really good chance of being pretty successful if they were to put it straight to streaming. But I also think it still has a big enough pull with how colorful the trailer is and stuff to get people into the theater, regardless. And then I just don't think Black Widow has that kind of pull. And I think Disney knows that. So they're trying to really wait until the last possible minute to actually release it. And then they might also just be pushing it back because they want to make sure that their timeline still matches up, like with release dates. Because if they release Black Widow now, and then you have to wait an entire year or whatever for Eternals, when there's like probably some type of teaser for Eternals at the end of Black Widow, they don't want their audience to wait that long. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, I just know that some people that I listen to and that I see them post is them saying, "Yeah, like, we don't care about the theater. Just put it on streaming. Like, that's the new way to go. Like, we don't want to go back to theaters anyway." Type of deal.
That's true. I have talked to a lot of people who just don't want to go back. So,
yeah, I know a lot of people are just done with the theater experience, anyways.
I think that was pretty evident. The last, like, 2 years or so, I feel like the theater experience has really taken a backseat to just watching stuff at home. So I don't know. Well, I guess we'll see how it all shakes out.
But yeah, like I said, DC. There's some news here as well. Real quick, last episode I talked about Flashpoint that I watched, and now I've watched Justice League War.
The New 52 origin movie. Woo!
Yes, the first film that's technically canon with the rest that's coming up. And yeah, it's still fantastic. I remember watching it for the first time. I really liked what they did. And it's actually this movie where I defend Justice League coming out so early in the DCEU. Because this is a launch movie for the universe, and it's going to be the team-up film.
Yeah.
But it worked out really well. You know, we got the appropriate amount of time for each character to understand who they are before we see them all come together.
I always remember loving Wonder Woman in this movie. Just like how out of touch she is with like modern society, and how she's like got the fish out of water thing going on.
Yes.
I always loved that about Wonder Woman in the movie. I always thought she was really funny and just super charming. And also Colby Smulders as Wonder Woman is like a great casting.
I've always said that back in the day. I thought she would be a great Wonder Woman, yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely adore that casting choice. It's super, super well done. But yeah, I always remember loving War. I love like all the stuff at the beginning with like Green Lantern being a hotshot and like questioning Batman on like if he's really just a normal dude, and then he gets his ring stolen by Batman. God, it's so funny. And then I like that the Flash is a brown noser to Batman. That part's pretty great.
I really like the Batman Green Lantern stuff as well.
Yeah, it's all pretty well done. Superman's kind of whatever in the movie because he's New 52 Superman. So
yeah, he's got that cockiness to him. It's not Kobe Smulders as Wonder Woman in this.
Oh, it's not? Who plays
no,
Wonder
it's Michelle Monaghan. Monaghan?
Oh, wait, who plays? When does Kobe Smulders play Wonder Woman? Because I know she does in one of these animated ones.
Oh, in the Lego movie.
Oh, she plays it. Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I still think she could be a good Wonder Woman if they ever decide to tag her on there.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think she'd be really good. But regardless, I think the voice actress for Wonder Woman did an amazing job.
I really like the design for Wonder Woman in this.
Yeah, it's is it the blue with the silver on like the chest piece for like the W, like the W's silver on this one? Yeah, so it's the New 52 design. Not the one where she wears pants. Because that was a weird Wonder Woman design when she.
I remember
pants.
that. I remember that era. Yeah.
Yeah. That was when they couldn't really figure out what they wanted to do with her in New 52.
Yeah, it's definitely closer. It's closer to the New 52 look.
I forgot that Shazam was in this movie.
Shazam's great in this. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally forgot Shazam was in this movie, but he's awesome. I remember now. Ah, yeah, that was great.
Yeah, his dynamic with Cyborg was great in the movie.
Yeah. Justice League War was pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah, I gotta say, and then bringing in Darkseid as the first villain for them to fight was a nice different approach, I guess, because he's the big bad, and I know he's the final fight as well. So to set it up to like, oh, we're gonna start with him and we're gonna end with him.
It'd be like having Thanos show up in Iron Man 1.
But yeah, the fights were incredible. It was definitely different hearing, not Kevin Conroy play Batman in this movie.
Because I think it's the same guy who voices Batman in the Young Justice series.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. Who I don't mind. I really like his voice acting for Batman because it's to me it's more of like Batman and Batman Begins than it is like trying to just be Kevin Conroy's Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't mind. I dig that a lot. I like it a lot. So, yeah, it's a good movie, man. I dig it.
Yep, I enjoyed it a lot. I mean, there were times where I felt like it was lasting a little too long for a film. And I think that just has to do with, like, we have to go through every character for a bit.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, but I mean, pacing-wise, it was great. I just felt like, oh, this is longer than I remember rewatching it.
Yeah, right? Like,
yeah.
It's got some legs on it. It's definitely got some legs. So it's good stuff. I dig it a lot.
Yes, I had a great time with it, and I can't wait to continue on this journey. The next one is Son of Batman. That's when we get Damian Wayne showing up in the universe, because...
Was it that one that comes next, or is it the Aquaman one?
Yeah, well, when I was looking through a few lists, they said the events that happen in Son of Batman is before Throne of Atlantis.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm cool to see Son of Batman, because I know Damian Wayne plays a way big role towards the second half of the series, I guess.
Nice. I'm glad you had a good time watching some good DC stuff, man. Yeah. Speaking of watching good DC stuff, I just found Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman at Walmart for $6 each yesterday. So I now have them on Blu-ray.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because they don't have Man of Steel on HBO Max, and I really wanted to watch it. And
oh, they don't?
No, Man of Steel is not on HBO Max. Only Batman v Superman. So I thought that was a bummer. But I think they were talking about how they were doing timed releases on a bunch of their DC Universe movies, right? Like, I think that was something they were talking about. Like,
oh, is that what they said?
Yeah, like not all of them would be on the streaming service at the same time. So I bet that's all it is. I think that's. So
all. I see it's streaming on Hulu.
Maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I can't watch it on HBO Max. Oh well, whatever. I got it on Blu-ray, so I don't have to worry about it.
Nice.
So
But hey,
yeah.
Speaking of Man of Steel, our boy,
Yes.
one Henry Cavill,
Our boy! Oh,
popped up back in the news to
excited.
say he renewed his contract over at DC.
Heck yeah, man. I'm super stoked. I think they said, like, details of the contract were fuzzy, but it sounds like there's, like, 3 movies he could cameo in potentially and 2 new sequels to Man of Steel.
Mm-hmm.
Is kind of what the breakdown was. And I'm like, that's great. I am so down with that. And I wonder if any of that ties into the Justice League reshoots.
Well, we know, so there's Justice League reshoots are happening this year.
Yeah.
For this next Snyder cut. But Henry Cavill confirmed he's not shooting any new scenes.
So where was that article from? Because I'm really curious, because I couldn't find the one about Henry Cavill not being able to shoot.
It was in an interview that he was in. I think it was for Enola Holmes. Yeah, so he's not shooting anything additional. All the stuff has already been done for him. He says he doesn't know what's gonna happen by changing and adapting the original storyline for it. Because if you remember, it does play out differently from what we originally know for Justice League. Yeah. And he says, like, for now, I'm just gonna enjoy watching the party and everybody experiencing it finally.
So this interview, for this interview, it was done before the Justice League Snyder Cut reshoots were announced. So this could be inaccurate. Like, Henry Cavill could be coming back to do the shoots. Like, Collider has said, like, here at the bottom of this article, that their interview with Cavill was conducted prior to the report about the Snyder Cut reshoots. It's possible that Cavill knew he'd be doing reshoots but was prohibited from confirming as much before the news was made public. It's also possible that the reports about the reshoots weren't entirely accurate, at least in regard to Cavill's return. So he could end up doing it.
Okay, so then that would make more sense as to why he had to renew his contract now.
Yeah. So that way they could definitely get him in on it.
Yeah. Then that means I'm going to assume this is one of the films within the contract.
I would imagine that this is probably one of the 5.
So that would mean we have 2 cameos and then 2 sequels still.
Yeah, which I could hazard a guess that one of those might be Shazam 2.
I was thinking 2, but I would say more likely maybe 3, and then maybe Black. I want to say Black Adam just to see Black Adam wreck Superman towards the end of the movie.
That would be awesome. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see how it goes. I don't know. I'm very curious about how Cavill Superman's going to be brought back in.
Yes,
it'll be good stuff.
Either way, man, it's fantastic news.
Yeah, I'm so happy. It's great.
Cavill's great as Superman, and I know he wants to do more with him as well.
Yep.
So, yeah, I can't wait to see what the DCEU has for us in the future.
Yeah, I'm super stoked. So
yes,
it will be a good time. Great time.
Yes.
And I think DC's got some really good stuff for us in the future, especially with our new boy cast as Hawkman, probably announced in one of my favorite ways ever, in a quoted story from The Rock on Instagram.
Oh yeah, that is how it happened, huh?
yeah, that was like not my favorite way to hear about it, but the story is very heartwarming. So The Rock called Aldous Hodge on the phone, and basically Aldous Hodge didn't think it was real, and then freaked out in the background because he is now cast as the new Hawkman. And I think he's going to do a great job. I love Aldous Hodge. He was also one of our mutant boys in First Class. I believe.
That's who it is.
Yep. I think that's the same guy, right? Or am I wrong? I could.
I'm not seeing it on his movie list here.
Oh, wait. Who? Why do I know Aldous Hodge? Oh, well, he was in The Invisible Man.
I've only seen him in Straight Outta Compton. He was MC Ren in that one.
He was in Die Hard with a Vengeance. I don't know if that's the third one or if that's the fourth one or what.
That's the third one.
That is. Right. He was on Friday Night Lights. That's right. Okay. I'm remembering things he's been on now. He was on an episode of Bones. Yeah, a lot of TV show stuff.
They made a Jack Reacher sequel with Tom Cruise?
Yeah. There's 2 Jack Reachers with Tom Cruise.
Oh.
Yeah.
What?
And everything I've heard is that the second one's better than the first one. Which I think is interesting.
Yeah, he's been on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, Aldous Hodge is great. Totally got him mixed up with the guy from First Class. My bad. I thought it was the same guy for a second. But no, Aldous Hodge is awesome, and I think he's going to be a really good fit for Hawkman.
Yeah, so that's cool, man. Good stuff on DC as well. We get the announcement of an HBO Max spin-off show from The Suicide Squad, and that's none other than our boy John Cena as Peacemaker.
Peacemaker! I can't believe they're making a show based just on him. I love it. I hope he has that same stupid costume the whole time. It's wonderful. I can't imagine a better spin-off show. Honestly, I'm surprised they weren't trying to make a spin-off show of Harley Quinn first.
I think because Harley Quinn's doing good animated-wise, because that got another season,
say, right? The animated series is probably doing fine for it, so...
yeah. Yeah, so that caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting something like that to happen. And I'm sure that has to do with probably John Cena's part. I'm sure he would have wanted more with the character. Yeah,
I'm sure there's going to be some kind of crazy, like, there's probably some weird contract stuff too, possibly.
Yeah.
Trying to get John Cena into the movie. They were like, well, they're like, well, your part's not going to be huge, but you'll be pretty memorable. And they're like, and he's like, okay, well, this character's fun. I want to do more as this character. And they're like, okay. What if we make you a show? He's like, okay, cool. Yeah, let's do that. So, and I don't know if this will be like a running series. I feel like this will probably end up being like a short mini-series more than anything else.
Yeah, that's what I feel like. Yeah.
Yeah. But if it's if it's like kick-ass levels of violence and stuff, like, I think it'll be pretty
that'll
fun.
be good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would love that. That would be great. I just want to see John Cena putting dudes' heads through walls and like snapping their necks while he's doing like submission holds and stuff from like WWE. That'd be wonderful. I would love it. And if there's any chance of getting Peacemaker to eventually meet up with Black Adam, that would make my day. I'd love it.
So that's cool, man. All this great DC news. It's always good to see. But sadly, there's also sad news coming in.
Oh, are you talking about Batwoman's new costume?
No.
Because that's pretty... That was
Well, I don't even think that's a new costume, so I don't...
That's true. It's not a new costume. It is literally Ruby Rose's costume put on a new person.
Yeah.
If you want to look it up, you can. It just looks really bad. So
yeah.
Yeah.
But we did get CW news. On the day that is Supergirl's birthday in the comics, DC has canceled the series on CW.
Pretty rough, man. Pretty rough.
Yeah. Caught me by surprise, man, because I didn't think the CW would want to cancel any of these shows. But if they did have to pick one, it would probably be Supergirl.
Yeah, which is... You know, it makes sense with the new Superman show coming in soon, for sure.
But see, I still think that's a limited series run, though. I don't think that's getting a season 2.
It might be for now, but if it does well enough, it might end up getting another season. Like that's happened plenty of times before with other stuff. But with Supergirl, I think it's definitely a bummer because I always thought Supergirl was... I don't know. I always thought the first couple seasons were pretty decent. Somewhere around the mid-seasons, it started to really lose me. And then lately it's been pretty bad.
I watched up to season 3, and there was a lot of problems in season 3, and then I ended up just dropping it after the crossover.
Yeah.
I never saw Lex Luthor other than in Crisis, and I didn't like that.
Lex Luthor. Oh, man. He's, yeah.
And then, I never kept up. I mean, I know she got a new suit, right?
Yep. She got a new suit that makes her look more like Superman than Supergirl. So, I don't know. It's not my favorite suit. Definitely not my favorite.
I've never heard good things in the latest seasons for that show.
Yeah.
So, which is why I say it's no surprise that this is the first CW DC show to get canceled.
I guess I just don't understand how this one gets canceled, but Batwoman gets to keep going. Because Batwoman no matter how bad a Supergirl episode got for me, Batwoman was always 10 times worse. So I don't understand how Batwoman is still on the air. I mean, I do understand how, but I don't like it.
I think it's mainly because it's part of the crossover that's going to be happening for this coming season for the shows.
Yeah.
That plays a main role in there, so that's
cross
probably
promotion.
why.
Yeah.
And plus it's a new series. Because I know I think Black Lightning is still going, and I don't really hear much from that show, but I'm sure like that would be the next one to get axed. I mean, we'll see, because I know Legends of Tomorrow is not ending anytime soon, because that show still gets good numbers. I don't know how.
I think it's just because Legends
does.
of Tomorrow is just weird and kooky. Like it's a show that doesn't really follow the rules of the other ones too much. And it's able to really change up how it does stuff each episode. So I think that's probably why that one's still like going pretty strong. Yeah, I don't know about Batwoman still being on, man. I don't understand how that's still going. It doesn't make any sense. Like, think about it, right? Like out of all the shows on the DC stuff, the one that you would look at and be like, all right, our main actor's gone. She got injured. She's not going to be able to report back to duty. We have to completely recast and rewrite the whole season 2 of the show to reflect that our actor's gone. It's going to cost us this much extra money to do that. Why even continue that show? Why not cancel that show and continue the one that's already established? I don't think it'll cost any more.
I don't think it'll cost any more for them to do all that, because it's not like they've shot in anything. I mean, I'm sure that they've been writing stuff with her, so that's going to be a problem.
I guess I would need to see like a timeline of how early they were able to figure out that Ruby Rose wasn't going to continue with it, and how soon they had to make a turnaround shift in doing that, right? Because they didn't even have a new costume designed for this new actress. That's like how far behind they are, like on getting this show synced up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, unless the point is to not change the suit as well. Like if she doesn't get a new suit by the season finale of season 2, and they're just going to stick with the Ruby Rose design.
Yeah, I guess that would be the way to do it. But yeah, I don't know, man. It all comes off as a little haphazard to me with that shift, and Supergirl getting the axe instead of Batwoman. It seems like a big miscalculation. At least in my opinion. I don't know. Unless they've completely written themselves into a corner, like really bad. I don't know. So I'd have to catch up with Supergirl to really know the damage. But I don't think I'm going to do that anytime soon.
No, it's okay. You don't have to.
Yeah, exactly.
I will say though, one thing I do want to check out in Supergirl is them doing the Red Daughter storyline. Right? It's their version of the Red Sun with Superman.
Oh, cool! Like Russian Supergirl, basically.
Yeah, because I forget what happens. Something in season 3 caused like clones to happen or something, like someone's power, and then that season ends with a clone of Supergirl winding up in Russia.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think in the season 4 premiere, we do see her being trained and used for other reasons in Russia. So I know she shows up eventually, and then Kara has to fight her.
Gotcha. Interesting. Yeah, that would be kind of a fun part to check out.
Yeah, so no official statement as to why the show is canceled. There was, I know, the post from Melissa Benoist saying it's been such an honor and all that to play the character. Of course, the speculation is that maybe because she just had her child, that she wants to spend more time on that than go back and film on a regularly aired TV series.
That would make sense. That probably has her doing a lot of crazy, like, wirework stunts and stuff with the whole flying around deal. So but we can recast Batwoman, though. That's fine.
Well, I mean, it's easier with that kind of character, right?
That, and it's also only been one season.
And it's only been one
with that
season.
version of the character, so I guess that makes more sense. But I don't know. I think there's a lot of shaky stuff between the two shows.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of stuff happening at CW, right? I mean, they fired the guy who's playing Elongated Man in The Flash.
Oh yeah, there's all kinds of shady stuff going on with.
And I don't know if you saw, but they updated the, I guess it's season 6. Yeah, season 6 of Flash. They updated the cover for it, and they removed Elongated Man from it.
Oh wow!
So he's no longer on there.
Super cool. Okay.
Yeah.
That's rad. That's fun.
Yeah, and I'm trying to find more information about this stuff, and I guess I didn't catch this. We did get information for Superman and Lois a few weeks back, and so it's said he is a father of 2 kids. That's how we left off in Crisis.
Yep.
Whereas before Crisis, he just had a newborn, right? Just one son. But here for the show, he's gonna have 2 teenage boys. That threw me off. I was like, oh, I didn't know they were gonna be teenagers.
Oh, interesting. That's how old is this Superman supposed to be? Because
he's the same age as he was on Supergirl when he first showed up.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Well, okay. Weird.
So he's kind of. I guess I would say. That's a good question. How old he is, because in the beginning, I guess he's in his 30s, late 30s, because when Kara shows up to Earth, he's already Superman, and she was, I think, 11 maybe. And then, so now she's in her early to mid 20s, so he would be in his mid to late 30s. And they also said that, we're going a different approach from what we've already seen with Superman and the live action stuff, in Smallville and other stuff like that. So yeah, they're going their own approach. Yeah.
I'm watching a thing right now that's supposedly a teaser for it.
I think there was test footage released,
but I think it's a clip show of stuff from the other shows. Because they show a shot of 2021, and then it fades into the shot from the Crisis special of the different Daily Planet newspapers on the wall at the Kent farm. But I'm but that's not the Tyler Hoechlin Kent, and you can see him in this part that it's obviously the Tom Welling version of him.
I'm still glad to see people make these edits on YouTube and all that.
But this is an official video. This was released on Rotten Tomatoes TV. This is real. This isn't this is just a bad edit by CW. Yeah, this is just a bad edit. Because it shows all of the different characters from the CW shows in comic book form and stuff first, and then it gets to 2021, and then it starts talking about Lois and Superman.
Oh no, yeah, this is official because the CW released it. Yeah.
So this is a CW release thing, but that's really funny that they use a shot from a different Superman's universe to try and be the Tyler Hoechlin version.
Well, okay, so this was just a showcase of their DC universe on CW.
Yeah. But then it gets to a certain point in the trailer where it says 2021, and then it turns into the Superman and Lois teaser.
I'll just watch it real quick. I guess. Yeah. That's weird. Let's see.
It's structured really weird. I don't.
Yeah. Okay. So the Daily Planet stuff. Yeah.
That's from the Tom Welling shot.
Tom Welling shots. Yeah.
Yeah. In the special, which I was like, wait a minute.
The Kent Farm shot, that is Tyler Hoechlin.
Yeah, that part's a Tyler Hoechlin. It's just the part where it's Tom Welling chopping the wood. I'm like, wait a minute. And I don't know if any of the rest of the footage is new. I feel like all of that.
No, all this is old. Yeah, it's either from little bits of Supergirl, Crisis crossover, and Elseworlds as well. Yeah. That's weird that they kept the Tom Welling stuff in there. Yeah, I guess because that's the only other shot that's different that shows the Kent farm. Yeah, because we only have one scene of the Kent farm in Elseworlds.
I would assume there's nothing shot for this yet, at all, that they can probably turn into a trailer.
I think they have to be because it's premiering January.
Oh, so they have to have been shooting stuff.
Oh, I know they're shooting stuff this month and last month because one of the actresses was posting on Twitter about taking the COVID test so that way they could shoot.
Oh, okay, got it.
Because remember, they shoot in Vancouver, so
yeah,
they've been able to film way before you can out here. So, all right, man, that's all the news we have for DC. We did get some other stuff. I watched 2 more episodes of The Boys. I can't wait for this week's episode.
Every review thumbnail I've been seeing has been like bigger and bigger like reactions to stuff. So it's looking like it's getting pretty crazy.
Last time we talked on here, Jake, I said how like the show wasn't that gory, but episode 6, I have to take my statement back because it gets a little gory in there.
Yeah, I saw something about a dude's face getting rubbed off.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, lot of face, a lot of face stuff in here.
Yeah, I don't know who exactly does that. If it's like a Homelander going fast by somebody, or like if it's a train running too fast past a person. Don't know, but so sounds fun.
Yeah, the plot's moving pretty great. I'm liking the what's going on. We got some good reveals that I kind of was expecting, but it was still a nice surprise.
Sweet.
And yeah, I mean, I'll talk more once the show is over, because I think it's just still 8 episodes, right?
Yeah, I think it's just 8 episodes. Yep. Did you see that? What's his face got cast as Booker's dad?
Yeah, we got a new casting. I forget who the actor was.
It's the guy from Fringe, that old TV show, which more people should see. Fringe was pretty great. What's his name? John Noble. That's his name. He's an old man. He was in The Lord of the Rings. He played Boromir and Faramir's dad. He jumps off a tower on fire. Yeah. So he's pretty great. I like him as an actor quite a bit. So
oh yeah, sadly only 8 episodes. Okay.
Yeah, but he's pretty great. He's a pretty great voice actor, regular actor. I think he'll do good as playing off of Carl Urban. And it'll be him and Carl Urban back in the movie together again. I don't know if they ever actually met on screen in Lord of the Rings. But they're both in those movies, so.
Nice.
Yep.
But yeah, speaking of The Boys, though, we got news that there's going to be a spin-off show for it.
Yeah, college boys, the boys in college.
Is that what it is?
I
didn't
think
look.
that's the concept I've been hearing passed around, is that it's not going to be about the boys themselves. It's going to be about like superhero people going to college and getting trained to be superheroes and stuff. So it's like where Stormfront came from, or where the guy came from that Homelander slaps in the ears or whatever.
Yeah, it'd be more on him.
Like the upcoming superheroes, like those kind of people. Like I think that's what this show is going to be more about. Which I don't know if that's a good thing. Just because I don't know, the whole show is supposed to be like a critique on superheroes and like the entertainment industry and stuff. But this is starting to feel more like it's just going to be a regular superhero show.
So I got the synopsis here. It says set at America's only college exclusively for young adult superheroes, and of course it's run by Vought.
Yeah.
The spinoff is described as an irreverent R-rated series that explores the lives of hormonal competitive soups as they put their physical, sexual, and moral boundaries to the test, competing for the best contracts in the best cities. Part college show, part Hunger Games, and with all the heart, satire, and raunch of The Boys.
I think my eyes just rolled into the back of my head and I could see my brain for a second. Oh my god. I don't... It sounds like it should be really... It could be really good, but it also sounds like it could end up being really bad.
Yeah, because as I was sitting on this thing and thinking about it, I think The Boys is just better off as its own thing.
Yeah.
And trying not to get more expansive on stuff.
Yeah.
Like when the show inevitably ends, that'll be it. I don't want to see like, oh, well, here's what's next. No, like, I kind of want to just be done with it, because... the one thing this spinoff is not going to have is the boys themselves.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. It definitely feels like Amazon is just looking for stuff to make money off of. At this
Well,
point.
they need to make something while they're waiting for the Lord of the Rings show.
Yeah,
right?
If that ends up getting made, that thing it keeps running into.
They resumed production
problems.
recently.
Oh, did they finally?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, finally. Yeah.
Oh, and the Batman both stopped and restarted production in between. I think the last episode and this one. So.
I think it was like not even a full week, right?
No,
with,
it was.
with the news.
Yeah, I believe it was 2 weeks because they gave Robert
okay.
Pattinson 2 weeks to recover from having it.
I see.
Yeah, so as far as I know, it was 2 weeks. So, but they're back on. They're making the movie. So I don't think it's going to affect their release date like at all.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Nah.
Yeah, but I mean, I'll check out a trailer for this spinoff show, but right now my hopes are like it'll probably be okay, but I'm not going to be as invested as I am.
Yeah, is there anything for it to be like based on? In terms of
I see.
like,
I don't
like a
know
comic book
because
or anything like that.
I've never checked out the comics, so I don't know. Yeah, but they did the one thing to point out is that they said it's being fast tracked into development. It's been in the works for a while, but I guess now they're trying to up the pace into making sure it could come out at a certain time.
Interesting. Yeah, don't lose the hype train from the regular show. That's for sure.
Yeah, maybe they'll want it to come out before season 3.
Possibly, I could definitely see that. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's
just weird.
It feels like they're just trying to get it out so they can get the money from it in some ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, well, we have this idea for a show. Let's not lose the hype over it now. Let's just get it out. Which, you know...
Oh, yeah, because a lot of people are talking about The Boys right now with these episodes coming out weekly.
Yeah. I don't know. It's going to be... I'm hoping it doesn't feel super rushed. You know what I mean? Like, I hope it doesn't feel very, very funky like that. Yeah,
I hope so too. And for the final thing we have here, Mandalorian Season 2. We had the release date before, which was October 30th, and then now we got the trailer that dropped not that long ago.
Yep.
And watched that. I was like, yeah, cool. It's just more of the same, more or less.
I'm looking forward to it. That's really all I got to say about it. It's
yeah.
It looks just as good as the first season does visually. You can definitely tell they're leaning on Baby Yoda way more in this trailer, which is something I'm kind of not big on.
Yeah, I'd be a little worried about that too.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm just hoping they manage to keep good old Kennedy away from this project this season. And then there's all the weird stuff going on with like Pedro Pascal in the background, so who knows what's going on with any of that.
Right.
So I got decent hopes for this season, but I'm not holding them out too much. Kind of how I was with the first season. I'm going cautiously optimistic about it. And I just kind of wish that they don't do too much with characters from the main universe. Like, I don't think I need to see Boba Fett show up.
Yeah, and I was just thinking about this not that long ago. I'm like, okay, I know we're going to have to end at some point, right? Because we know how more or less this story is going to end.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so I kind of hope if we do get another season that would be the last.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But I kind of hope we get to see more of the Force involved, and not particularly Jedis, but maybe other people that get involved with it.
Yeah. I would like some more gray Jedi people. If this season does end up getting us back to where, like, say Rebels was at, like if it pulls back around to Rebels stuff, then I'll be okay with it. I'll be like, that's good stuff to pull in because that show never really got like a finale. Like, I wouldn't mind seeing Thrawn show up in live action would be pretty cool. But I don't know if I need to see like Boba Fett or Luke or Leia or Han. Like, I don't think I need to see any of them in this season at all.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. One thing I would kind of like to see is like that stuff they showed off in Jedi Fallen Order, right? Where you go to that planet with those sorcerers that use the Force.
Oh yeah, the Night Sisters and whatever.
Yeah, the Night Sisters. Yeah, I like that idea a lot, and the way they use the Force is so different. It was refreshing to see.
Have you watched all of Clone Wars yet?
No, I have yet to go back.
You gotta watch Clone Wars, dude. The Night Sisters are all up in that show, dude.
They are?
Same with cool. Rebels, too. The Night Sisters have huge roles in both shows. So having them come back in Mandalorian totally makes sense, because it's another, it's another property being worked on by, what's his face?
What, Filoni?
Yeah, Filoni. Yeah, and Filoni loves all that crazy mysticism shit, so, it'll be perfect. It'll be so good.
I think it'll fit too, because, in the trailer, it's just like, so I just have to find these people that could use the Force.
Yeah. I don't,
and then,
here's one thing I will give a huge middle finger to with this show, though. I hate this idea that the Jedi are just not known. Like, Return of the Jedi literally happened, 5 years before this? That just seems silly to me, that the Jedi are so steeped in legend, even though that, Obi-Wan Kenobi and everybody and all their events happened, maybe 30 years prior to this show being around.
I kind of think it makes sense for just the fact is, it was the Empire was such a big thing for a long time, and nobody's seen a Jedi since.
But it really wasn't, a huge amount of time, though. In terms of the universe and how long Jedi were around for, thousands of generations of people.
Yeah.
To me, that's always been, a weird sticking point, is that they've constantly, they've constantly tried to play up this thing that the Jedi dropped into myth and legend. And I'm like, but why did they drop into myth and legend? It doesn't make any sense.
Well, I mean, even in the...
Luke is pretty aware of Jedi and the Clone Wars and stuff from through his uncle, at the beginning of Star Wars.
He heard about the Clone Wars, but I mean, it's not like he was like, "Oh, cool, you're a Jedi." He understood what that meant.
I think he does by the end of that movie, because he says, "I want to train like a Jedi Knight, and like my father used to be."
Because that's what Obi-Wan told him,
and that's by the midpoint of that movie. And then, Han Solo's also, super aware of the Force and stuff, but he just doesn't believe in it. You know what I mean? So everybody.
The Force is an idea, because there are, like in Rogue One, right? We have Donnie Yen using the Force, to a degree.
Yeah, to a degree. I still wish that he had ended up being a Jedi. I thought that would have been great. But I don't know. I just thought, it makes more sense to me in, the sequel trilogy movies for it to be, a little bit more out of context like that, but Mandalorian, that show, still feels like it's within the realm of the time period when Luke would have been starting up a new Jedi Academy, and Jedi would have been pretty decently known, I think, at that point again.
He only had the one school, right? And then he didn't have that many students with him, right?
Well, we don't know.
14
we don't
kids?
know how many students or anything he had, because we never get told. Unless you read the comic books. And the comic books make it feel pretty large scale, at least on one planet that he's been collecting people to be Jedi. Because there's definitely a bunch of different people from different alien species and stuff. So I don't know. It feels a little inconsistent to me to keep making the Jedi a super legendary thing that nobody knows about anymore.
I remember in season 1 when Mando asked what the Jedi are, and they told him that we fought them before during the Clone Wars, so he kind of knows what they are, but it kind of has to make sense because of just that all of a sudden they vanished and then just no word ever again.
Yeah,
and then new generations come in.
Well, I guess it would be different for me if people were saying oh, those evil sorcerers that took down the government or whatever. If it was something like that tried to betray the Republic type deal. If that was the way Jedi were talked about, it would make much more sense to me. But I feel there's been a movement definitely to kind of write the prequels out of a lot of stuff. To kind of disconnect a lot from that stuff. So maybe that's one of the reasons why it's kind of confusing. You know what I mean?
Maybe. I mean, cool, because they're bringing back, what's his name from... They've gotten stuff from the prequels before to come back.
Yeah, but it's never been like fully like we're embracing it. It's more just like, yeah, people like this one thing from the prequels. Let's bring that back to this new thing. You know what I mean? Like how they handled Darth Maul in the Clone Wars cartoon always felt like people don't like the prequels, so we'll make Darth Maul better than how he ever showed up in the movies. And I think that's kind of what they did in the sequel trilogy too. Was anytime there would be any type of prequel reference, it would just be to reference the prequels, and that's it. It wasn't for like a storytelling purpose. To that end, I Force Awakens actively tries to get away from the prequels as much as possible, like to not even like acknowledge that they exist. So I don't know. Maybe that's kind of where it came from.
Yeah, maybe.
But either way, I'm still excited to see where Mandalorian Season 2 goes.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure it's going to be the same length of episodes, right?
Yeah, I would assume. I think it's the same season length, too. I think it's the same amount. Which was 8 episodes, right?
8, yeah.
Hopefully this season feels a lot less like, what's it called? A lot less like a movie that got stretched out and feels more like its own show. I would like that.
Yeah, I would like that too.
Yeah. Gina Carano's not in very many of these episodes. So Pedro Pascal's going to be in 16 of them. Carl Weathers will be in 13 of them. Gina Carano will only be in 11 total of the episodes. That's including like season 1.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I figured.
Yeah.
All right, cool, man. Yeah, so that's pretty much all the news we got.
Yep.
So Wild stuff kept coming out day after day.
Whew,
it was getting a little ridiculous, right?
It was a good news week, man. That's all I got to say. It was a good news week. Like we had quite a few things drop, man. Woof.
So with that, I think it's safe to say go ahead and wrap up this episode for today. So while we wait for all that stuff to come out, man, Jake, where can we find you?
You can find me anywhere on the internet at Corruption Cosplay with K's. Where can we find you, Danny?
Of course, you can find me anywhere at Negator7, as well over at Unversedpodcast. Doing a lot over there as usual. And yeah, I'm going back on streaming now on Twitch, doing a lot of other stuff over there too. So thanks for listening, guys. And before I forget, because we recorded the episode early last time, I didn't get to say this on the show, but the podcast is now officially available on Amazon Music.
Woo! Amazon Music, yeah.
Yeah, they just opened their podcast section over there. I applied it when we got the email, and then I think it was a few days after the release of the last episode, we got confirmed that it's on there now.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah.
Hey, we're moving up, man. We're moving up.
Yeah, so you could get the show iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube, Stitcher, and Google Play. I think this was still called Google Podcast or something.
Sweet.
I don't know. I don't keep up on that end for the Google stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. But cool. That's awesome.
Yes, and you could get all the links on our social media, which is at MarvelTalkCast, anywhere you go.
Cool.
So, yeah, thanks for listening again, guys, and until next time.
My face! My poor face! What did they do to my face?